So I know I haven't made a video in a while. I promise I've been working hard. I'm working on the series. I've added quite a bit to it. So this video is going to be kind of just like a random, I'm just kind of talking. I know I just haven't made one. I want to make one. I don't really have anything like exactly what I want to say, but let me just get this out the way. If you're interested in my work, you want to read more about my stuff, just go to the description. It's all there. I do one-on-ones and I do live streams. I do live streams every week on Fridays for the members channel. So if that's what you're interested in, just go there. But I wrote something today that was on my mind. It was, I don't need a ruler in my imagination. I don't need a watch on my wrist. And the image I got was I imagined somebody in my mind who was really scared of feeling that feeling of when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And I almost took them into my imagination and I put my hand on their wrist to cover their watch, and I'm telling them that you don't need that here. I'm trying to tell them the nature of imagination. And someone's trying to measure everything, and I'm trying to stop them and say, you don't need to worry about the dimensions of here. This thing's always shifting. We can just create. And you need to see imagination as a place of creating things with no basis in fact. There is no shame, there's no judgment, there's no fear. You can create entirely off of nothing. The same way we create stuff from scratch in this world, right? We always say that we honor things that are created from scratch. Oh, they made this soup from scratch, or they made this from scratch. And we love when somebody does that. But the same is true with imagination. We can make things from imaginal scratch. You don't need a basis in fact. Well, although you can, right? You can readjust some words that you heard in your life. You can readjust certain scenes and scenarios. There's nothing wrong with that. You can totally do that. But you also can just create something new. As it says in Isaiah, look, I created something new. Do you perceive it? Do you see it? And I love that question. And you have to ask yourself, who is speaking? Is it the outer man or the inner man? It's the inner man. The inner man's telling you, look, I created something new. I created you in a new way. Do you see it? Do you accept it? And it becomes more free when you see it that way. There's a funny a funny photo of Neville dancing, and you could tell he was just free in that photo. Just having fun. And I don't see it any different in imagination. I used to feel so scared in my imagination. I thought I wasn't allowed to touch things or have things, sort of like my wrist my hand gets slapped when I try to touch a dream. Like it's like a fancy heirloom piece that I'm just not allowed to touch. And it's just not true. I learned that it wasn't true. And I started learning that I actually enjoy laughing in my imagination. I like creating funny things in here, and I like to create stuff off of nothing. I love creative freedom with no expectation, no judgment. I like to just see what I want to see, regardless of what anyone thinks. And when you start to go down that route, it's not that you choose to not imagine nightmares. You just don't. And the reason why you don't is because if you're imagining nightmares all the time, you have to understand your imagination is a mirror to the man. If the face of a pond reflects the face, the mind reflects the man, not the mind. And so if you have to change something inside yourself, it's the man. And then the imagination mirrors you differently. So if you're having nightmares, it's a mirror to you. And so so the question is, what do I do? Well, you start seeing yourself free. You don't change the nightmare. You feel free in here. You start to change yourself in the imagination. I become more free in here. And when I become more free, all of a sudden I don't find myself that stuck in that nightmare. I don't find myself feeling like I have to continue it. I can readjust myself rather than try to fight the giant in front of me. It's only a giant. The only reason why you see giants, the only reason why you see prison bars in your mind, and I don't mean literal prison bars, I mean anything that you feel trapped by, is because you feel like a prisoner. Is because you feel like a grasshopper. Don't change those things. Change you. Make yourself larger. Make yourself free. You've never been more free in your life. And all of a sudden, the prison bars just melt away. So you start to figure out, I don't need a physical key to get out of the mental prisons. I am the key. I make myself different. And when I make myself different, it readjusts itself. So I never have to really be afraid of being stuck in a nightmare. Even if the nightmare feels so real, You wake up from it, don't you? And then you're relieved. You realize it's not real. I'm unscathed. Same is true all the time. When you're stuck in a certain state, you feel it's real. It's really getting to you. It's making your heart race, making you breathe fast. But in the end, it really can't be independent of you. So it is dependent upon the dreamer. So you have to remember the dreamer. Changes in the dreamer changes the dream, not the other way around. You have to change the dreamer first. So it's not so much about what you do in here. The whole nightmares and imagining all these fears. A lot of people who imagine it this way are very creative. They don't realize they can create from nothing. They think they have to fight with this fear when it's like, no, you can just scratch it and go create something new. It's not so much about what you do in here that matters so much. It's about who you are that matters more. Who are you in imagination? And you have to ask yourself, am I free in here? And the way you address that question is up to you. But the way I address it is, am I? I really question, am I free in here? I don't worry about the outside. I just think about my insides. How free am I in this world? Do I really need permission from somebody in here? Do I really need approval? Do I really need to feel afraid? Does this world really mirror me? Then am I not free in here? If it does, am I not free? I always have been, but I find myself imagining bars. That's okay. It's not over. It's just a reflection of me. So everyone in my imagination is me pushed out. I put the words in their mouths, even if it feels like I don't. No matter how independent a dream feels, if you wake up from it in the middle of the night, everyone in that dream was you, right? And you might not feel like that, but they're personifications of you. It looks like they're different people, all dependent on one dreamer. And so they're all different parts of you. Change not them, or else you're missing the whole point. Change you. And even if you change yourself in small ways, that's enough. And one small way you can do is you start to free yourself inside. You start to say, do I have to earn worth in here? No. Do I have to prove that I'm something in here to somebody? No. And when you realize you don't have to, you start to realize you've always been free. And so when you come back to the inner man, to your inner self, which is made of all imagination, when you come back to that being, things are restored. You start to realize, I have a choice in what I do in here. The moment I become aware of what I'm doing, I have a choice. I don't need to act from compulsion anymore. I don't have to act from nervousness. I can choose how I act, and I can choose what I want to be in here forever. Some people in this world decide, I'm going to choose, I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about internally. In this imaginal world, they decide to be a thief. For the rest of their life, they're going to be a thief. That's what they decided. That's what they choose every day. That's what they choose to be in here. I'm not speaking about the outside right now. What do you choose to be in here? And you can start from scratch. You don't need $1. You don't have to pay me money to change yourself in here. So I put my hand on your watch and I say, you don't need it here. You don't need to worry about the time here. You don't need to worry about how with a ruler and try to measure everything and figure it all out. You don't need those things here. That's for the outer man. You just leave that up to them. But here within, you always have a choice. We have gone beyond dimension and time inside of ourselves. And our imagination puts us in touch with an unseen reality. Mortal eye and organ perception doesn't see it. They don't perceive it. But again, in Isaiah, it says, do you see it? Do you perceive it? I made something new. And you can change it to say, I made you new. Do you see it? And you take that with you and you contemplate on this message for a while. You don't have to figure everything out. I know I haven't. But you think about it. While you're doing something, a mundane, think about this message. Who am I in here? How free am I? Am I as free as I would like to be? And you just answer honestly. There's no judgment. It's just total honesty. And then you slowly will start to free yourself. So I just wanted to give that message. I realized, I'm like, why don't I do this more often, where I write something online that I could totally just give a little talk on it. So I might just start doing that more often, because sometimes it's hard for me to find exactly what I want to say, but I'm more of an in the moment person. So I like to jump on it in the moment rather than like write it all down. That just bores me. So the next time I have something that I write or it pops up, and I might just make a little video explaining why I wrote it. And so that's why I wrote that today, is that in imagination, I need no ruler and I need no watch on my wrist. And that's the message. So yeah, again, I have a book out, Audible. I'm also writing the second one. The series is coming by really well. I've added way more than I was expecting. It's going to be a substantial book. It looks like right now it's going to be about 350 pages. So it's going to be a lot. I don't like lugging around like giant books, so I don't want to make it like too long. But the way I think it should be read is not really like a novel or a book. I think it should be read more like you open it and there's something on the page that will stick out to you. I want it to be almost like a treasure. Like you just open it and you look and you see something you want or like, rather than sort of spending time just reading everything through. I mean, if you haven't read it, you might want to read it through. But then after that, you don't just pick apart what you like, open it at any time, and I promise you, there will be something in there that will help you. So my intention with the book is not to make a bestseller or anything like that. My intention with this book is to free you, the inner man. That's who this is addressed to, and I'll put that in the preface and everything. But okay, I'm gonna head out on this one. I just wanted to share that. So thank you for listening.